heavy kind of composition anyway, or favors kind of tanks is quite compact. But I think it'll be very even. I think after what we've just seen, and actually C9 favouring the kind of flankers, I think that'll favour them, because what they'll do for Sanctum is they'll just swap to the tanks and still be fine.
Right. I think we'll see quite a number of niche picks for these two teams as well. They've got a lot of flexibility in terms of their individual hero pools in this roster. Maybe not on this one, but once we got the Village, something like that, we could see the Faraz, maybe even the Mei come out, things like this. And they certainly didn't want to take Cloud9 to Oasis, I don't think.
Well, as you pointed out, Shawarja, we're going to be seeing the Tracer and the Soldier pick up again for Misfits here on the red side, and Cloud9 going to be running the Genji Tracer combo that we just saw on Hollywood here. So far, Zipside's been able to set himself up towards the Elephant side. No kills coming in just yet. Actually, not even that much damage, to be honest, as both teams are just trying to poise for positioning around this map, as the point has finally unlocked. It looks like Misfits have gotten a majority of the initial capture.
Yeah. Vying for position, just poking each other, seeing if they can get the better end of any individual target. Tweaks dropped really low though, actually went on a flanking route and ended up getting picked up by Gods, who's into the back line now, causing a ton of pressure onto Misfits. They're dealing with it relatively well with their biotic field. They're staying grouped up on the left-hand side near the Elephant. They've managed to find a pick on Adam as well, but it's very back and forth between these two teams, neither really wanting to engage, initiate.
Yeah, I mean, well, you've already lost the point as Misfits. Either you're just going to go in and die, or you have to get those picks and then hope to take it back. And now, Shawarja, we have to talk about this. We talked about, you point out Tvik, the fact if he's flanking, well, there's a D.Va, he can't really do much damage, because the D.Va doesn't have to look in two different directions without, like, maybe a Genji or someone else there to assist. So why are we seeing the Tracer Soldier combo to Misfits? Well, we know Nevix can play Genji.
I honestly don't know why they're picking the Soldier over there. They probably feel like that actually they can just kind of brute force their way, get the Matrix down, and then just go through the middle.
There's a pulse bomb, removes whatever Manatin had from the sound barrier. And Rolf replies, 2 support ults used here from Cloud9, so decent for Misfits. So they managed to force out both of them, and now they're applying a lot of pressure again to the tanks. That seems to be the go-to strategy for Misfits, really applying a huge amount of pressure over on Zephyr and Kaiser, and then seeing if they can get the cleanup afterwards. This could be the first flip over from Misfits on Nepal, and again, this is their map pick as well, so they need to be performing. And this is going to be them getting their first capture on the board.
Just reminding you guys at home, this is not like a best of 3, it's not a best of 5, it's 4 maps played total. Every team and every matchup today will be playing out the entirety of those 4 maps. And the group settings come down to how many maps that you have won across all of your individual series. So just to give you guys an idea, when you see 2-1 or 2-0 potential here, or 2-1, you're not thinking it's a best of 5. There's no way a best of 5 group stage can last over the course of 2 days. We need probably like 6 for that. But either way, we do have a lot of ultimates ready for Misfits. 4 to go here. Tvik trying to make something with that pulse bomb work. Doesn't seem like he was able to stick, or at least do enough damage off the back of that on the someone to kill them off. But just looking at what Cloud9 have, like, Sideshow, this has to be a dry run, right? This has to be an eco push.
It looks like it. Misfits in general have been incredible at staying in control of Nepal and Village and Sanctum, and trying it kind of seem to be their home grounds, but they got a couple of ultimates forced out of them there, and Cloud9 are going to look to reinitiate. They're going to have the Dragon Blade and the Transcendence to be able to use. And then Kaiser's also got his ultimate if they need to apply a little more pressure to the backlines.
What's dangerous, Shawarja's middle doesn't have his sound barrier yet. They don't have a way to stop Gods' ult.
Well, you've got Rolf, and by the time the Transcendence is over, Adam will actually have his ult as well. So having the double support ult.
Gods got taken out by the self-destruct in the middle of that as well. He was halfway through his Dragon Blade, had already found Zebasai, and then Nevix pops off his tactical visor as well, just to delete the second DPS player of Cloud9. That should have been a potential opportunity for Cloud9 to get back in control. They did manage to flip the point, but they're getting the worst end of the fight in general. Misfit's going to be able to recap and stabilize, it seems, but very close between these two teams so far.
That's big.
I guess you don't need a support ultimate if you can somehow catch the Genji with the self-destruct, right? I guess that can kind of support ultimate. But yeah, I mean, I agree. That should have been Cloud9's fight when you didn't have a sound barrier or even a Transcendence respawn to Gods, which we already saw in Hollywood how well he can play this Genji. But now they got the sound barrier ready to go. Zebasai only about 50%, Rolf or about 40-50% himself. They're going to have the sound barrier out of Adam, but that's going to be pretty much it in terms of defense or aggressive ultimates.
Both sound barriers used. Cloud9 coming up on the right-hand side. Nevic's incredibly low there. They've managed to find 2 initial picks, and they're still really healthy on the side of Cloud9. Pulse Bomb used, but doesn't quite hit anybody. Doesn't matter though, because Shuffle still does a huge amount of damage just with his little pistols there anyway. Coming back up onto the point. Misfits have managed to get into overtime here, but with 77% over on Cloud9, they really needed to get the better end of this fight. And the possibility for a recap is going to be in the very last little nick of time here.
They do have the time to regroup though. 20% is enough. You expect one more fight, even if it is rushed. And it's going to be a very even fight. Neither team has an ultimate, but we do see Rolf very close to that Transcendence, and along with Zebo, so it's going to be a case of who gets there first could win the fight.
Or even what Zen's going to be alive at that point, because we see both chasers do fairly well and try to counter each other, and Rolf's going to pop his out a little preemptively just to make sure he does not get taken down. Zebaside, 99%, he has his ultimate available, deals 1 HP, he's going to pop it off to just barely stay alive here. That might be the turning point now for Misfits, as Tamik is just not able to hit that pulse bump, but the self-destruct catches 2? Manitin, where the hell did that come from?
Enormous plays from Manitin again with the self-destruct. Fantastic stuff from them, and they all managed to get their ultimates just in the nick of time from Misfits. It was overtime. Zebasai was only on 1 health. Nevix also popped off his tactical visor. They had the huge self-destruct. That's the definition of clutch right there coming out from the Swedish team, as they managed to steal that one away from Cloud9.
Oh, I mean, you saw, I was staring at Zebasai's HP the entire time. He was at like 95%. He got down to, I want to say 10 HP.
Yeah.
And then just barely in the nick of time, spammed his Q button, probably broke his keyboard off of that. And I kept himself up. I mean, that's where we see the focus of Cloud9 go towards Sharjah, right? It's always been towards the supports. And Zebo, he's been unfortunately on the blunt end of that sword. Yeah,
well, with Cena's composition, with the way that they're playing, they have to go for that backline, and they have to get those kills, and they didn't in that situation. Just managed to get the ultimate, and it paid off for Misfits to keep Zebasai alive.
Nepal in general is a map where each stage can justify a different composition as well. So with these versatile teams, definitely see something interesting going into Village here. Got triple tank coming out from both of them. Anna on the side of Rolf, along with Zephyr on the Diva.
No one's going high ground.
Yeah.
It's like one of the first times I've never seen people go high ground.
And Misfits instead going for Manitin on the Zarya. So a lot of damage going to be coming out from him. He should be able to build up that energy fairly well. Difficult to get value out of the ultimate though, perhaps. A big brawl happening on the ground here though. Both teams not aiming for the high ground.
So instead of going for any flanks, any backlines, we're just like, we're going to just power straight through you. We're going to kill your main tank Kaiser and give you no chance. I mean, you saw Reinforce, he was shielded, right? So there was no chance to even stop him.
Yeah, well, there's a slight difference between having Gods on Roadhog and having Manitin on Zarya, and those shields can completely negate any hook and any kill potential that Gods can have, along with the fact that it's really hard to hit a Tracer with a hook, and even if he does hook anyone else, it's hard to one-shot them.
Oh, Reinforce!
What a play!
My man!
That's fantastic coming out from Reinforce. Check your corners. But Cloud9 walk into that one. A free ultimate for Reinforce. He's got to be feeling good about that.
That's huge for Misfits. Just being able to use one ultimate to win that fight sets them up for the next 2 at least.
Oh, God. And that has to put some doubt in the minds of Cloud9 as well. The fact that, I mean, that's a corner you generally should check. And as you just pointed out to me, Sharjah, we see a little bit of a switch up for Cloud9.
Yeah, they're obviously not feeling it. They go back to double flanker combo. But Kaiser coming out with an ult.
Schefter used on the floor there. Don't think he caught anybody, but they're still going to be able to follow up onto it. They've got that nano boost for the next fight, potentially. But Misfits didn't really engage anything into that one. Just choosing to give up the ground for free. Kaiser generating 44% of his ult already, as well as God's ticking it up. So now Misfits in the situation where they have to re-engage into this, but they have a massive ultimate here. They've got the combo, the big bang, but potential for it to be eaten as well. They've got to tread carefully around Zephyr.
If Zephyr catches both these, I'll like to lose my shirt, just cap my shirt off. But luckily for me, he doesn't catch any of that. And there's Nevix, a self-destruct and the pulse bomb, throwing everything in the kitchen sink at this one just to lock it down. It allowed Reinforce to at least charge up another Earth Shatter here, but still, that was a hell of a lot of ultimates to commit.
Yeah, a little bit of overkill. I like going for the self-destruct over the pulse bomb. It's a lot safer, and you just with the Graviton that was actually in that position. Reinforce could just get a free charge on Kaiser. There's nothing Kaiser can do. He either has to counter charge and he loses his shield, or he gets pinned and he loses his shield. It's a win-win for Misfits in that situation. Don't think they need to commit all the ults though, and it could cost them.
Great coordination, though, to retake the point. A little bit of a tracer battle happening on the floor as Surefour aims to get them down. That's going to be blocked, though. Reinforced not able to get such a meaty Earth Shatter as last time as Cloud9 come back in with their support ultimate use. Misfits still got one in the bag, though.
The point got flipped. It looks like I think it was Surefour was able to turn the one around, and Gods puts himself up a quick quad kill off of this. So Misfits try to engage with the Earth Shatter, which unfortunately does get blocked out on. But before even that happens, they lose the point because of not keeping a man there to contest it. So did Nevix lose the 1v1 against Surefour, or did he just fall off the point a little bit too early?
Maybe just too much damage and didn't feel like he could take the fight and had to back off, but Surefour really flipping that one for his team, getting a lot of free percentage, and Misfits had to turn their eyes, turn their attention, and now they're in the awkward position of recapturing. They are at 79%, so one good recapture will be helpful. Look at this, though, dropping it from the high ground. They're right behind Reinforced, but he turns at the last moment, still going to catch Zebasai there, but the sound barrier keeps him alive for now, and Kaiser's been pressured down. Manitin doing a great job as Zebasai comes in and saves them all with the Transcendence. Looking like a decent opportunity to flip the point here, as they do, ticking it up into the 80%. Cloud9 as well, if they get a couple of stalled kills towards the end here, really difficult for them to get back into the fight. 90% now.
They want that kill on Surefour. They want to at least eliminate him to keep this man advantage.
This is going to be tough for Cloud9. That kind of late stall, they didn't all die straight away. Well, they've got 5%. They do have somebody on the point, but everyone else is going to have to rush through, and it could just be Manitin's ult. Could just give them the advantage to an easy fight.
Both gravitons up for both teams. Manitin used it. Surely that's gone somewhere. Can't quite see, but the ultimate from Zephyr definitely caught everybody. There's a follow-up there, though. Misfits, they've only got 2 players alive. Surely not going to be able to turn this one. Nevix is a great player, but just doesn't have the damage output to be able to turn it. And then Cloud9 now ticking themselves up 85%. Is there even enough time for Misfits to get back into this one? They lost Nevix incredibly late. Reinforced going to be coming up to his Earth Shatter, but that's the only ultimate they've got.
Oh, and Gods and Surefour, the 2 flankers have their ults ready to go too. This is going to be so difficult to sustain from Zebasai switching over to the Ana. Last second here, Gods will be coming towards the back, looking for him. And he doesn't connect it. Looks like the Earth Shatter didn't even hit on the Gods either. And Gods is just cleaning up here in Cloud9. Most certainly will close this one out, and Village will be theirs. Tying things up at 1 apiece here on the ball.
Well, I gotta say, Gods was my guy to watch on Cloud9 to see how he was performing on Genji, but he has had some absolutely fantastic Dragon Blades over the course of this game, setting up perfectly along with his tank line as well. They knew that Misfits were gonna be forced to commit to that point. It was getting down to overtime. They had to try and hit him with the Earth Shatter as well. Leaps over the top of Reinforce's head and gets a huge amount of value with his Dragon Blade, tying it up 1-1.
I think, I want to say, I couldn't see from the angle we had, that Zephyr shielded Gods, because he was playing Zarya, to stop the Earth Shatter from hitting, which allowed him to actually get this whole combo off.
Potentially, yeah. But either way, nice play from Gods and from Cloud9 to avoid that. Their last hope was that Earth Shatter to try and stop Dragon Blade. No support ult available to try and kind of survive it.
A big difference in terms of how they were able to use the Gravitons at the end there. Zephyr made the clutch move over to Zarya towards the end, built up the Graviton. Him and Manitin both had it. Manitin threw his, didn't really catch anybody, or at least the follow wasn't there, and Zephyr got a meaty one to be able to wipe Misfits. Now, onto Sanctum. Much more the home of the triple tank, but we've seen both of these 2 teams not afraid to play it in different areas anyway. So this one, that was a sleep dart right at the beginning. Who did that catch? Nevix, huge amount of damage taken out from the shield.
To be favoring the side of Cloud9 too, which is the fact they have a Roadhog just eat away at this Reinhardt shield for Reinforced, and Zephyr's going to be there to block any damage coming back their way. Reinforced already on a sliver of HP, going to be healed back up though. Going to be relatively slow with no Ana to get that bio grenade. Point has finally been unlocked, and God's going to hit a hook. That's going to pull Tivik a little bit too far deep. But still, no kills coming off the back of this.
Rolf with a super quick nano boost built up from healing the rest of his team here. If he needs to use it, that will definitely turn the tide of the fight. Gods gets it at the end of his hook just to melt Reinforced. To be honest, though, I don't think they needed it. At that point, the fight had already been won, but Rolf just making sure that he's completely got that fight in the bag and Cloud9 take early control.
Yeah, I definitely like to see the Ana on this kind of map. It's very close, it's very contained, and it's very easy to hit Ana grenades just from over the top, and even just heal a lot of your tanks up in a very short space of time. And that's something that Misfits actually struggled with, is that they didn't have the healing capability from Zebasai. So they need to use that Discord. They need to be able to get that damage through to be able to counter the healing.
So talk about this position for a shower, because it looks like Misfits have flanked around completely, and Cloud9 is just kind of responding in light. We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second here, as we do have their shut up for Kaiser. It looks like Gods did knock off Reinforced here. This should be a fight held on to by Cloud9. But again, the positioning that they were taking, they actually fell back to point instead of holding towards pillars.
It's interesting that they actually fell off the point. I would have expected them to maybe push back onto the point, but it kind of makes sense moving them around. Just keep that distance, use the advantage of the Roadhog, because he can do so much damage at the right range to a Reinhardt shield that you take the Reinhardt shield down and then Kaiser's got a free ultimate.
Here's the advantage of using such tank-heavy compositions as well. You have a huge amount of really powerful ultimates to use. Cloud9 have 4 in the bag. Misfits, it's going to be difficult for them, but they do have this Graviton up in a matter of moments. The follow-up has to be there, though. Sound Barrier popped out already from Cloud9. Manatin, though, has been pinned. He's got his own Zarya bubble to keep him alive, but not for long, as Misfits still fall. They've still got those ultimates, though. They didn't waste any in that fight. So they can come back into it. They actually managed to force out 3 from Cloud9 as well, so at the end of it, that's a decent fight for Misfits. If they manage to take it with this next one, which they absolutely have to, they could start the ball rolling.
But look at the position that they're holding. This Graviton Surge out of Manatin is going to be so difficult to hit. I just want to point out quickly, you did that Zephyr actually 1v2 TaKeOver and Nevix trying to keep that tactical advisor from coming out. The self-destruct is going to hit one, Reinforce is going to go down. Nevix does get the kill on the Kaiser though, but God's turning around from the point, actually picks up the kill, somehow on a Manatin long range, and Nevix left on point, pretty much by himself trying to capture this point over is going to be a little bit too difficult, but you got Zephyr there being desuited. The rest of the team of Misfits haven't been able to pick up these kills, and finally after 99%, Misfits do get control, but I mean, that's kind of what happens on this point of Nepal anyways. You kind of have people get to 99% and eventually it changes over and they can hold for 100 themselves.
I'm so surprised they managed to take that though as well, because Kaiser hit a pretty good Earth Shatter to open things up. They managed to get the self-destruct through. Manatin, I think his ultimate got eaten as well in the midst of that, so they've used their Graviton and they didn't manage to, either didn't get the follow-up off camera, or it just got eaten by Zephyr, who was really conscious of the fact that his ultimate was live and was playing really aggressively with his defense matrix.
Reinforce, he really wants to shatter. He's been trying to throw these fire strikes into so many people, just barely survives. Luckily for him, he's tall and he has big feet to hold on to. And Surefour does get the kill on Vic, but the Earthshatter's ready to go. You can see the shield's almost broken. Reinforce has to play this one so carefully to make sure to hit this one perfect, and he doesn't! Kaiser's gonna block it out, but he does get the charge onto it nonetheless, but Gaz knocks him away with the whole hog, but the kills are all blue, and this point should be turned over, and with Tavik, the last man remaining, will allow Cloud9 to take a 2-1 lead here on Nepal.
A lot of mind games there between Kaiser and Reinforce. The Korean getting the better end of it in the end.
If you're Reinforced there though, it's like
so difficult.
You have to use your shatter, right? You can't hold on to it, and if you're Kaiser's like, all right, I'll keep my shield up the whole time. I mean, we say that Reinforced missed it, but it was kind of like you have to use it at that point.
Absolutely, and Kaiser as well, playing the positioning of that corner so perfectly, backing off every time when he needed to generate a bit more ultimate on his shield. A couple of players baiting forwards as well. Rolf just steps out in front of the shield, seeing if he can draw the charge, the Earth Shatter rather, out of Reinforce, but it wasn't quite going to be baited by it until the very end. Cloud9 go up 2-1 in the map. Nepal, of course, best of 5, so Misfits can still come back from this one, but one more round from Cloud9, and they managed to secure it, and we're back to Village. Interesting to see Misfits go for a different composition here, though, moving away from Reinhardt-centric comps.
But Cloud9 going back to what they originally had on this Village map, that they've then quickly swapped off, which is interesting to see, knowing that they changed very quickly after the first fight.
Super aggression coming out here from Misfits at the top side. Debuff has already hit Reinforce, but playing the positioning nicely, doesn't take too much damage from it. A lot of pressure being applied here to Cloud9. They're kind of stuck in a little cubby hole, and Zebasai's orbs come through, wreck Surefour. Didn't get the hook in onto Reinforce, but I think his careful bubble placement managed to mitigate a lot of the damage, and Misfits have played their composition and the aggression really well, going to be able to come up with the first cap.
You see the power of D.Va there, right?
Yeah, I got to call Manatin out there. He's just managed to block the hook damage twice. And could have changed the fight if they managed to get those 2 kills from those 2 hooks.
And even with the Roadhog out of Cloud9, Kaiser lost his shield so quickly there too.
Yeah.
But they're able to get a point now. This is where things get a little bit iffy for Misfits, but they do have a team that can brawl this position. God's just going to be able to hit these hooks, but Zebasai again gets Surefour down. Kaiser is able to hit a charge, at least DC Manatin for now. But look at this, Zephyr, 96 energy. He's going to be nano boosted, and everyone has just become butter for him as he's that warm knife cutting through them with this laser.
They're getting their spawners in, and he's actually finding it a little difficult to do too much damage. There's the Earth Shatter, though. He's still got his Graviton. There's no need to commit it to this fight, or at least no need so far. They've just managed to flip the point over. So Misfits, with a decent stall towards the end there, get 31%. Manatin going Genji. I have not seen that at all from Misfits. This is something new.
Well, something that Misfits have to know right now is that Zephyr has got that Graviton. There's no way that they will not know, with being charged and how long the fight has been, and how long this match's gone on so far, that they've got to play around that.
But where's the reflex? Manson, can you hit it, son? Can you be the team or the play that your team needs? It's like the Gravito's not going to be coming anytime soon, especially with the sound barrier use. It looks like they're just going to let that be the ultimate committed for now. And Kaiser, his grab can help charge him another Earth Shadow, which means he can shut them down yet again. Man's only at 14% on his Dragon Blade, so no Blade coming anytime soon.
Great synergy between all of the ultimates that Cloud9 have got. They've got the Big Bang combo as well. Surefort so far actually has been shut down pretty well by Misfits.
I just look how Cloud9 are all sitting on point. Misfits, even with a man down, are sitting on high ground, just like waiting for an opportunity.
Yeah, Cloud9 want to play in a real deathball style. They want to get maximum value out of the ultimates, bait them down onto the point. Here comes the sound barrier. Ult surely going to get used there. Zephyr pops it out, catches a couple of players in it, see if they can mitigate it. Zephyr used the Transcendence as well to keep everybody healthy inside of it. And they're finding a bit of damage, but everybody's so weak on the side of Misfits.
Zebasai, he was picked up that 1v1 against Surefort, but the recall's gonna be a little bit too strong for him, and not to mention Cloud9 gonna be a little bit too strong. That was gonna be picked off as he's just trying to run off the cliff and die. And Cloud9 are, what, 25% away from taking a 2-0 lead against Misfits.
One fight, and they have Adam's ultimate, the sound barrier, and Rule's coming up soon, so you could pass that over to Kaiser and just he walks forward with a bit of speed boost and gets his ult mid-fight and can quite easily just turn it, but getting picked.
Manathan's got to get some value out of this Dragon Blade that he's just got online as well. Tactical visor, but Zephyr again in his face. Zephyr has been playing so well on the D.Va and on the Zarya role. Manathan comes in with the Dragon Blade as well, though, instantly shut down. The focus there, so great. And Kaiser with an Earth Shatter as well is going to finish this off. Surely, this is an impossible comeback for Misfits. They only had TaKeOver on the point. He's a great player, but it's not going to be enough. And Cloud9 asserting their dominance on Misfits' map pick there of Nepal.
That Earth Shatter was crucial to win that fight. It was still very even, 3 for 3, and he managed to pick up both supports with a Tracer pulse bomb coming through as well, just to make sure that they stay dead.
Oh god, it's gonna get the play of the game again. 2 for 2 for this man. Trying to read another blade. Yeah, you can see so the Earth Shatter came down and the shield came on top at the same time, but I don't know if he dashed away far enough to get away from the Earth Shatter. But either way, it would have landed, right? Because the shield was there, and that just shows like the communication. You know, considering they have two, Koreans on the team, to be able to communicate like 5-minute points like that. Obviously, the two Koreans coming in are probably better than most North American players, if not way better than most North American players. But to be able to have that kind of synergy so quickly on when you've just become a team is very nice to see.
It's a very good sign for moving forward. You know, you're only going to get stronger from this point.
Communication issues were always a thing that people were concerned about with Cloud9, given that they're adding Koreans who would speak less English than the rest of the North American roster. But I think Bishop has done an excellent job of blending the two together and being able to create a system for them to play in. You can see him there doing something with Kaiser. Not sure what. Just giving him his leg a stroke. He wants to relax.
Oh, he's going to feed him grapes.
King Kaiser.
You gotta have that synergy both in and out of game, don't you? So
this is Bishop sabotaging his own team.
Yeah.
That's sabotaging your own team. Everyone knows